For today.
For this list, we'll be looking at animated features set for 2021 that we're looking forward to seeing the most. Given the real-world events and the crowded release schedule, keep in mind that the release dates of some of these films could change. What movie has you the most animated for 2021? Let us know in the comments. Where movies like Trolls World Tour and Scoob experimented with video-on-demand release strategies in response. Number 9. Sing 2. Release date December 22nd, 2021. When The Rise of Gru got pushed back, it assumed the release date of another Illumination film. Sing 2 was thus pushed back to December 2021, almost exactly 5 years after the original film hit theaters. Despite never hitting number 1 at the North American box office, the 2016 musical comedy managed to make over $600 million worldwide. Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, and most of the other principal players are booked for a second act, as is director Garth Jennings. Sing 2 will also introduce some new voices, including Gina Linetti herself, Chelsea Peretti.
Hi, Gina Linetti, the human form of the 100 emoji.
Here's hoping that she sings the theme from Fame. With The Addams Family 2 and The Boss Baby Family Business in the works, 2021 should have no shortage of animated sequels.
Hi there, baby sister.
Number 8. Troll Hunters Rise of the Titans. Release date first quarter 2021. Back in 2017, Netflix, DreamWorks, and Guillermo del Toro practically swept the daytime Emmys with Troll Hunters.
We have found you! I am known as Blinky. Hi.
While that epic series wrapped up after 3 seasons, there were still more adventures to be had in the town of Arcadia Oaks. We'd go from trolls to aliens in 3 Below.
Come home, Barbados.
The third installment, Wizards, would return to the franchise's fantasy roots, rounding out an ambitious trilogy of shows unlike any other.
The world's gonna end! We're all gonna die!
Not on my watch.
Rise of the Titans serves as a culmination of this story, uniting the heroes of Arcadia for the final battle against the Arcane Order. Arcadia Does the Avengers certainly has a nice ring to it. On Twitter, Del Toro described this climactic project as, quote, a big, bold, spectacular feature film that ties every part of the myths. Number 7. Bob's Burgers the Movie. Release date April 9th, 2021.
I used to trust my family.
We're sorry, so sorry.
Tales of Arcadia isn't the only television franchise getting the feature-length treatment this year. Bob's Burgers the Movie was due for delivery in 2020, but the Belcher family had to go into quarantine.
Boring, 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 bored, bored, bored.
In response to the pandemic, the Bob's Burgers team released a short the same day that the movie was supposed to come out.
No, stop! Wait, now? Are you pointing?
Bored.
Aside from capturing the boredom of being stuck inside, the short was a nice way to hold fans over. Meanwhile, the cast and crew continued working remotely on the movie, which will be a musical comedy. While little is still known about the plot, Louise's nightlight coochie Kopi will play a role.
Push that button, become the forgiving type.
With creator Lauren Bouchard making his feature directorial debut, we cannot wait to taste the meat. Number 6. Pinocchio. Release date to be announced 2021. We're all familiar with Disney's animated adaptation of Pinocchio.
A jackass?
You sure do.
While it's undeniably one of Disney's scariest films, readers know that the source material is even more twisted. Who better to bring a darker version to the screen than Guillermo del Toro? The Oscar-winning filmmaker has been trying to get the stop-motion animated feature off the ground for years. Due to a lack of finances, the project sat on the shelf like a motionless wooden boy. Netflix eventually emerged as Del Toro's Blue Fairy, however.
Little puppet made of pine, wake. The gift of life is thine.
Along with Del Toro, Pinocchio is being co-directed by Mark Gustafson, who's no stranger to creepy stop-motion projects.
Hello,
Who are you?
an angel.
What's your name?
Satan.
The designs were inspired by Gris Grimley's illustrations for the 2002 edition of Carlo Collodi's novel, meaning we can expect something truly demented. Number 5. Luca. Release date June 18th, 2021. Before moving to the US to study animation, Enrico Casarosa was born in Genoa, Italy. Casarosa embraced his heritage with the Pixar short La Luna, which he wrote and directed. Earning Casarosa an Oscar nomination, La Luna drew inspiration from Italian cartoonist Osvaldo Cavandoli and Japanese animation master Hayao Miyazaki. Luca, which marks Casarosa's feature directorial debut, sounds a bit like Miyazaki's Ponyo, with an Italian twist. Taking place on the Italian Riviera, the film follows a young boy who befriends a sea monster disguised as a human. Other than that synopsis and some concept art, little remains known about Luca. The fact that it's Pixar, however, is reason enough to expect greatness. The film could do for Italy what Coco did for 4. Space Jam: A New Legacy. Release date July 16th, 2021. Before enlisting LeBron James, Jackie Chan, Tony Hawk, and Tiger Woods were all seen as potential candidates to star in Space Jam 2, which has been in and out of development for over a decade and a half. James has frequently been described as his generation's Michael Jordan. He even starred in a remake of a McDonald's commercial made iconic by Jordan and Larry Bird.
Great show, guys. And thanks for lunch.
Who's that? I have no idea. He's taking our lunch, though.
So it only makes sense that James would inherit Jordan's mantle for the long-awaited follow-up. James has already proven that he can act in movies like Trainwreck.
What's the difference between Miami?
Back in action.
Standing 3'3", 4 feet if you include the ears. Co-captain of the crew squad, Doctor of Delight,
Given Warner Brothers' large library of properties, could a few other famous characters cross paths with the Toon Squad?
I don't want to drive the Batmobile, I just want to sit in it.
Number 3. Encanto. Release date November 24th, 2021. Walt Disney Animation Studios has been on a roll as of late, and their 60th feature seems like another winner based on the talent involved. Encanto is being co-directed by Byron Howard, who won an Oscar for Zootopia, Charisse Castro-Smith, who's making her film directorial debut, and Jared Bush, who helmed the screenplay for Moana. Speaking of Moana, Encanto reteams Disney with Lin-Manuel Miranda, who will be writing songs for this new musical.
I'm actually writing a new animated musical with Disney Animation. I'm collaborating with the Zootopia guys and Jared Bush, who wrote Moana with me.
Taking place in Colombia, the story centers on a girl from a magical family who has yet to demonstrate any powers of her own. Think The Incredibles minus the superhero angle.
You have powers! Yeah, baby!
The title Encanto translates to charm, which this movie is sure to be full of. Number 2. Vivo. Release date June 4th, 2021. In addition to Encanto, Lin-Manuel Miranda will be writing several songs for this animated musical. Miranda initially brought the project to DreamWorks Animation in 2010, although the studio backed out 5 years later. It found a second life, however, at Sony Animation, with Kirk D'Amico of